Shalom, shalom. It is October the 18th, 12:02. October the 18th, 12:02. I am coming today to do a part 2 of Chaos in the Family. It really wasn't my plan to do a part 2. I thought that I was going to be able to do everything during the first live, and after watching the first live over, I realized that there was some major points that I needed to key in on that I did not key in on, and I'm pretty sure it left some questions on the table. And so I'm coming today to do a part 2 to give the answers to those questions. And from what I came up with is 3 different questions. One, what sword was sent? That was a major point that I really had wanted to tap in on, but I didn't. What sword was sent is the first question. The second one, how to know what the truth is, because a lot of people really want to know how to know what the truth is. And then number 3, who can seek the truth? Who can seek the truth? So today's purpose of this live is to answer those 3 questions, and it goes back to the last live that I did about chaos in the family. So we will be starting with Matthew chapter 10 verses 34 through 39, and as you can see, there are also other scriptures that I have posted that I will be incorporating in this particular live to answer those questions. So I want to say thank you for coming in. Good morning, Boop. Thank you for coming in again. So we're going to start off with reading Matthew chapter 10, verse 34 through 39. And it says, "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it." So we're going to go all the way back up to 34. And we're going to really focus on this point again. Thank you all for tuning in. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. We have to ask the question, what sword? Because as we know, when Yahushua was on the earth, because he is the one speaking right now, Yahushua, who you all call JC, that is disrespectful, that's blasphemy, calling him a name other than his name. So, while he was on earth, we knew him to not be a very confrontational person. So for him to say that he did not come to send peace on earth, but he came to send a sword, that should raise a question. And the question should be, what sword? What sword did he send? And where can we see this sword in action? So to answer this question, let's go to the book of Revelations. Here in this book, we will have the Apostle John being granted access into heaven to witness things that are happening in the heavenly realm that will affect life on earth. Most of what he sees is for him to record and or write it down so that he can share it with the Israelites, and some things he couldn't share nor write down. So those were some of the instructions that he received. We're here starting in chapter 5. He is given an account of watching Yahushua being counted worthy to open the 7 seals that no other person found throughout the whole world and or in heaven was worthy to open. At this point, Yahushua was seen as a lamb who was slaughtered or sacrificed for the sins of Israel, and only after his death was he able to gain such an honor. Let's remember that his whole purpose for coming was to redeem Israel from their sins by dividing them according to those who confess him to be their Messiah or Master. By correcting them, he also came to correct them, and by pushing them to repent, so that they could be reunited with Abba Yah. Abba means Father. Yah is the name of the Most High. So now let's go to Revelations chapter 6, because I just gave you a brief summary of Revelations chapter 5. It's important that you understand what had happened in chapter 5 so that you can understand who the Lamb is at the beginning of chapter 6. So we're not going to read all of chapter 6. We're only going to read verses 1 through 8 because I need us to see something. So as I was saying, in Revelation chapter 5, Yahushua was the lamb that had been presented. At that moment, he was himself. He was himself at that moment being presented with the 7 seals that needed to be broken. And so now we can see him, and he's now being presented as a lamb who had actually been slaughtered. So I want you all to picture an actual lamb covered in blood. So you have this lamb, whether it was white or black, because lambs can be either white or black. They really can, in color. But picture that the lamb was covered in blood. That is the point that I want y'all to get. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened, talking about Yahushua, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." Who is the beast talking to? He's talking to John. Remember, John was allowed entry into heaven to be a witness of the things that was taking place that was going to affect the world as a whole. And we're going to get into the understanding of the world as a whole. We're going to get into all of that later. So right now we see Yahushua opening up the 7 seals. And John is witnessing what is being done once each seal is being broken. So, going back up a little bit. And when he had opened the second seal, talking about Yahushua, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Who gave him the power? The person who broke the seal, which is Yahushua. The person who broke the seal, which was Yahushua. He was the one who gave him the power to take peace from earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. So that is one of the swords. And when I say one of the swords, it's actually the same sword mentioned when Yahushua said he did not come to bring peace, but to send a sword. So we have to be mindful of the words that he's saying. He came to send a sword. So when he entered into heaven and he broke those seals, he was releasing the sword that was supposed to come on earth and to take away the peace, to bring about a division within the house of Israel. And remember, during the last live, the division was from those who confessed Yahushua and those who did not. That was the division. He was separating those who was walking in the truth and those who rejected the truth. Then the third seal. And when he had opened the third seal, still talking about Yahushua, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." And when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto him. A power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth. So we see here that the pale horse was given a sword. And we also see that the red horse was given a sword. So that is the sword that Yahushua used or sent to the earth. Everybody, as I was saying on the last live, we have this misconception that Yahusha, as I say, everybody else call him JC, that his purpose was to bring about peace, peace, peace. But that was not his purpose. When he was crucified and then he entered into heaven, the actual heaven realm that we don't see, he actually had a purpose. And the purpose was to send the sword on the earth. And the sword was not for peace. It was to bring about division. It was to bring about death. It was to bring about judgment. That's what the sword was for. So I want to make sure I stick to my plan, because it's a lot of information and I don't want to get sidetracked and throw in more than what needs to be said. Where was I at? So we have to remember that Yahusha's purpose was to bring about a division within Israel. Now, though the division was to be in Israel, we see that the sword went out throughout the whole world. What was the purpose of it going out throughout the whole world? We're going to see why the swords was issued to go out to the whole world and not just Israel being in one location. Because we're going to see in Deuteronomy chapter 28, where the curses are located, that within those curses, Israel will not only be scattered throughout the whole world, but they are also going to be cursed with not being able to flee from the curses and the sword that is pursuing them. They will not be able to flee from the curses and the sword that is to pursue them. So we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, and I need to write this down real quick. Verses 25, verses 45 through 46, verses 63 through 64. All of these verses let us know that Israel will be scattered throughout the whole world. So therefore, wherever Israel goes, wherever Israelites go, these swords that was released during the breaking of these seals must pursue them. So to prove that that's what it says, we're going to go there real quick. I don't want anybody to think I'm making up stuff. I'm just saying whatever I want to say. But you can always fact check me, as I've always say. Don't go by what I say or what I bring to the table. Always fact check, not just me, but anybody who is presenting any information, because it is necessary. So we're going to start with verse 25. We're just going to read the actual verses. Verse 25, which is one of the curses. It says, Yahuwah shall cause, Yahuwah is also referring to the Most High. Yahuwah shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies, means to be killed, to be hit, to be persecuted. Thou shalt go out one way against them. You might run one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and thou shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. So do you hear that? This is a curse that is upon the Israelites. And let's read it again. Yahuwah shall cause you, talking to the Israelites, to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them. You shall go out one way against your enemies and flee 7 ways before them. During the transatlantic slave trade, we had 7 different nations that actually came up against us. So even though we are one nation and we're going up against them as one, when it was all said and done, that one nation was divided into 7 different other nations and driven out to those different nations wherever they chose to send us to. And then we're going to go to verses 45 through 46. Again, these are part of the curses that follows the Israelites. 45 and 46. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon you, talking to the Israelites, and shall pursue you and overtake you, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahuwah, thy Elohim, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded you. And they, listen to this, and they shall be upon you for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So these curses are going to follow you no matter where you go, no matter who send you, or if you send yourself. No matter where you find yourself at, these curses will pursue you. These swords will follow you. So when Yahushua said he did not come to send peace, he came to send a sword, he meant that. He meant that. So therefore, when we see in Revelations that he's breaking these 7 seals, and you see that the red horse and the pale horse were given swords, and their main purpose was to remove peace and to bring about destruction, chaos, and death. It's called judgment. It's called judgment. It's called persecution. Our nation was being judged because we consistently sought after false gods. We consistently chose death over life. We consistently worship false gods and deities and idols. Anything that you could think of that the other nations were doing, we also wanted to do, and we did. And like I said during the other live, being that we was such a sinful nation, Yahuwah, which is the Most High removed himself from amongst us, because there was a period of time where the Most High literally dwelled amongst our people on Mount Zion. That's how when you hear or we read of the 10 Commandments, Moses, when the Israelites was released out of Egypt, how Moses was able to actually communicate with the Most High. And then it's a point that a lot of people don't really tap into a lot, but at one point during their release into the kingdom so that they can worship the Most High allowed the actual Israelites to come into his presence. He allowed them to come upon his presence as well. Not just Moses, not just Aaron, not just Miriam, but the whole camp. But they had to go through a purification process before they did that, because sin cannot dwell in his midst. If you're unclean and you come in the midst of him, instantly you will die. So being that he loved us so much at that point in time, he allowed for our people to come upon him and see him for themselves. And they were so scared. They were so scared at that time that they really didn't want to go, because they knew that they wasn't right. They knew they wasn't right, and they didn't want to be consumed. But Moses had to talk them down and let them know, look, he is giving you the okay to come. As long as we follow these guidelines, you could be in his presence. And the guidelines was they had to fast, they had to clean their clothes, they had to do certain other things to be purified for a certain amount of time. They had to do it for a certain amount of time. I think it was like 2 days, 3 days or something like that, that they had to go through a fast to clean out the inside from any impurities, any things that they may have eaten that was unclean or whatever. But they shouldn't have been eating nothing unclean anyways. But they just clean their insides. They had to wash the garments on the outsides, and they had to come to him with a sense of purification. They just had to go through a purification process. Well, anyways, our people during this particular time, like I said, they were so full of sin that the Most High refused. And I hate using that word refuse, because it's deeper than refusal. He was not able to stay where he was dwelling, which was actually on the top of a mountain called Zion. He could not dwell there because his presence alone would have wiped out the whole Israelites. His presence alone would have wiped them out, because they were so sinful. There was so much sin within the nation that they would have been wiped out. So he removed himself from their presence. And part of their that alone was a part of their punishment, because with him no longer dwelling there, it left the nation vulnerable, because he was the strength of the nation. He was the heart of the nation. He was the source of the nation. So with him removing his presence, that harmed them a lot. And then not only him removing himself from their presence, he also had them cast out of the land. He had them cast out of the land because the land was his. The land belonged to him. The land belonged to him, and he gave it to them as an inheritance. But he's not going to let you or let our people consistently destroy the land and bring that filth in the land, because now you're not only defiling yourselves, but you're defiling the land. So he had other nations come in and to wage war against our people, and our people couldn't stand against them because the Most High was no longer there. He was no longer there. So these signs supposed to be what you use to identify who are the Most High's chosen people. And when I say these signs, I'm talking about if you read the 4th chapter in Deuteronomy, from chapter 15 all the way down to verse 68, it's a lot of different things that has happened from that moment when Yahuwah removed himself from Israel and he allowed the other nations to come in against them. All of those curses started at that point, and they were not set to end until the return of Yahushua. They were not set to end until the return of Yahushua. But we are in the hour of the returning of Yahushua, and those curses are now being reversed off of us and put onto the Gentiles. That's another story for another day. But if you read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 15 down to 68, everything that has been written about those people and the curses that was going to follow them. And as I said in verse 46, that these curses supposed to be upon these people as a sign and for a wonder upon their seed forever. Those signs supposed to show you who the Israelites are. And it is because of these signs we can identify ourselves as the actual children of Israel. We are the Most High's chosen people. It is with these signs no other group of people in this world can come close to identifying with the experiences of these curses than our people. Another topic for another day. And I done already got off course because it's just that serious. It's just that serious. Now we're going to go to verse 63 and 64 in the same chapter. And again, it's going to be reiterated. And it shall come to pass that as Yahuwah rejoiced over you to do you good, the Most High was happy to do us good and to multiply you so that Yahuwah will rejoice over you to destroy you. Just as much as he was happy to give us everything that we needed, he's going to be equally happy to destroy us because of our lack of choosing the right thing. Our lack of choosing to consistently pick life versus choosing death. So since you want to choose death, I'm going to let you get death. I'm going to let you have death. I'm going to let you have what you keep seeking after. And I'm going to be happy watching you go through it. That's what he's saying right here. I'm going to be happy watching you go through it. And to bring you to nothing. And you shall be plucked from off the land. Listen now. And you shall be plucked from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it. He's talking about the land he told Abraham about in Genesis. In Genesis, Abraham is the forefather of all of the nation of Israel. He is where it all started at. And he is the one who the Most High promised from the very beginning of land in Canaan that he was going to give to his descendants. So it started with Abraham. So that's what he's talking about. He's going to remove those people off of the land because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. In order to be in the land, you're supposed to choose life. You're supposed to choose the right thing. You're supposed to choose to be righteous. You're supposed to be holy, set apart. But these people kept choosing not to be holy. They kept choosing not to be set apart. They kept choosing to want to be like everybody else. Does that sound familiar? Look at us today. We keep trying to be like everybody else, but everybody else keep trying to be like us. Everybody else keep trying to be like us, and we're mad about it because we don't understand why y'all want to take what we got when we don't have nothing. We are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. And like I said before, that is not to puff us up or to make us big-headed. It is a fact. Let me see. Did I read all of it? And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there, listen to this, and there thou shalt serve other gods. There thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So when I tell you that our people who think that they have chosen the right one because they are Christians, or they're Jehovah Witnesses, or they're Seventh-day Adventists, or they're whatever type of religious sect that they call themselves, or whatever banner that they classify themselves under, they are serving false gods. They are serving false gods. We're going to learn, as we continue on in this topic today, we're going to learn how to understand what is the truth and what is not. So it's going to be with that information that you will be able to pick and choose for yourself if you're going to continue to serve false gods or you're going to fall in line with the truth. So I'm going to read that again. I'm going to read both again. And it shall come to pass that as Yahuwah rejoiced over you, past tense, he rejoiced over you to do good, to do you good, and to multiply you. So Yahuwah will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And you shall be plucked from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it, which is the land of Canaan. We were there, we was plucked off. And Yahuwah shall scatter thee among all people. So that's the whole earth. From one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. We will create false gods out of wood and stone, and we bow before them every Sunday at an altar where you have a cross. Every Sunday when you go and you worship at these
Boogie,
Alexa.
here's your reminder.
Alexa.
Jada said she can make the ugly
She ain't
cake
listening
salad.
to me today. Alexa, be quiet. So when you see this, if you understand that we are Israel, and you have been studying these curses, and you get down to verse 64, and it says, and there thou shalt serve other gods. He's talking about, and there, wherever you are, you will be serving false gods. Why? Because that's what we wanted to do anyways. So at this point in time, the Most High said, I'm giving y'all over. I'm giving y'all over to do what y'all want to do. But you got to understand, what you want to do is going to bring death. It's going to bring death. It's not it might bring death. It's going to bring death, because he's going to make sure that the covenant that we agreed to, because we actually agreed to these curses. Our forefathers agreed. It's the equivalence of today when you go and you make a purchase and you have to sign a contract. Like, let's say if you go out here and you buy a car, and you're purchasing that car with monthly payments. There's a good thing and there's a bad thing attached to this contract. The good thing says you agree to making this monthly amount every month for however many months. Let's say 60 months, which is 5 years, right? 60 months, 5 years. So for 5 years, let's just throw out a number. You say that you will pay $350 a month for 60 months. And as long as you do that, listen to me now, as long as you do that, this car will be in your possession. And after that was 60 months of you finishing all of those payments, the car will then be yours. Well, somewhere around the third year, somewhere around the third year, 36-month time frame, you fell on hard times and you decided not to make your payment, even though you could, but you also wanted to do some other stuff like pay your light bill, or eat food or whatever you wanted to do. So you did not make the payments on that vehicle for 2 straight months. 2 straight months. Well, in that contract, it tells you that if you miss 2 straight months of no payments, that the people who you buying the car from, or the bank rather, because they're the ones who loaning you the money, that they will come and repossess that car. So here it is, the second month, you did not make that payment. Now here it goes, the third month is coming around, and before that third month even get there, the car has been repossessed. Well, guess what? You signed the contract that say, I know that this will happen if I forfeit my end and do not keep my payments coming in every month like I say I am. Them people don't want to hear no sad excuse as to why you didn't keep your payments. At the end of the day, you reneged on your contract. You chose to not make that payment. So now you are carless. It's the same thing with us when it comes to Deuteronomy chapter 28. We agreed, our people agreed with the Most High that the covenant that he wanted to make with them, as long as they continued to choose life and to do things the right way that he told them to do things, that he was going to bless them in abundance. And they had it. They had the abundance, but then they got big headed and they started feeling themselves, and then they started looking around the world at other people and the different things that they was doing, which was nothing in comparison to us, and they wanted what they had. They wanted what they had, so therefore they started seeking and doing the things that these people were doing. And they didn't think that it was going to bring about a consequence. How you don't think it's going to bring about a consequence? It's just like us in today. Going back to the whole car thing, the car example. Most of us be mad when the repo man come and get that car. Knowing good and well we didn't make the payment for whatever reason. Knowing good and well we didn't make the payment, and we be hot. Because this man that came and got the car, and we know that we signed on the dotted line, that we understood fully that if we didn't make the payment, that the car was going to be repossessed. But now we mad and we blaming the repo man because he doing his job. He's doing his job. We mad at him. But we agreed to it. So that goes back to what I've been saying. Accountability. We have got to take accountability for what we have done. We have got to take accountability for what our forefathers have done. And we have to ask the Most High for forgiveness and to seek him. We have to repent from what we are doing still today and stop doing it. Because these curses are following us. And for those people who don't think that they're serving false gods, all of us who refuse to accept the truth and have some type of knowledge of the Most High, or have some type of knowledge or choose some type of religion, you're serving a false god. JC is a false god, because that's not his name. It's not his name. It is not his name. And unfortunately for us, our enemies are very crafty. They did their job well to keep us uninformed and out of the know of the truth. They did their job very well. Very well. Part of that was going into the word and changing certain things and inserting certain things and removing the name of Yahuwah. They removed his name and they replaced it with the Lord word or the God word. And then they did the same with his son. They removed his name and then also replaced it with the Lord. Why would you call both of them the Lord? Why? That's so confusing. Because they wanted us to be confused. They wanted us to be confused. They wanted us not to know the truth. I told y'all I was going to stick to the script, and I ain't done it. Because it's like, we got to get this, man. We got to get it. So, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 25, verses 45 through 46, and verses 63 through 64 explains to us how those seals being broken and how those horses were sent out with the sword into the world, how it was about them coming after us. It explains it how they were coming after us because Deuteronomy chapter 28, those verses I just called out, tells us that we were scattered throughout the world. We were scattered throughout the world, and not only were we scattered throughout the world, but those curses were supposed to follow us and pursue us, chase us no matter where we go. That's why when you look around the world today, no matter what nation you look and you find black people, they are at the bottom. They have the worst health. They've been enslaved. They are impoverished. They are what you will call at the bottom of the barrel in every scenario because of these curses. The Most High won't plan. When he say something, it's gonna be what it is. He's not slack. I'm trying to tell y'all, he is not slack, and he ain't playing with us. So we also have to understand, Yahushua was only sent to the lost sheep of Israel, according to Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 through 28. So I'm not going to read all of these verses, but I will give them to y'all. Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 through 28. We see here, there is a woman who is a Canaanite woman, and she is seeking help for her daughter. Her daughter has been stricken with a devil, and she's looking to Yahushua to give her freedom from the devil. But Yahushua tells the woman, I am only sent to the lost house or the lost sheep of Israel only, not to the dogs. He actually called a woman a dog. He actually called the woman a dog because this woman is a Gentile. She is a Canaanite. She is an enemy of ours. She is an enemy of ours. But the woman was persistent. She was persistent, and she confessed out of her mouth at the very moment to Yahushua face to face that he was her master. She told him that he is her master, and even the master dogs eat the crumbs that fall off his table. So because of her great faith in him and because of her confession of him, he did what she asked, which was blessing. He blessed the daughter and removed the devil from the daughter in that very hour, even though it was not time for the Gentiles to receive anything from the Most High. It wasn't time, but they had their appointed time coming later on when Apostle Paul came on the scene. Another story for another time. Another story for another time. But just give you some understanding of what was happening in Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 through 28. Yahushua said out of his own mouth, he is only here for the lost sheep of Israel only. Only. So now we're going to go to the second question, which is how to know what the truth is. A lot of people want to know, well, how do we know what the truth is? Even though it's only one truth, how do I know what one thing is the actual truth? Because this person say this and that person say this and this person say that. Number one, if you really want to know the truth, and I'm gonna sum this up real quick, but then I'm going to get into it a little bit deeper. If you really want to know the truth, stop listening to people and get in the word. Stop listening to people and get in the word. Even me. Stop listening to me and start studying. That's one thing. That's one thing. Stop listening to other people and what they tell you the truth is. That's one thing. But let's let scripture tell us how to find the truth. Okay? We're going to do it this way. We first have to understand that truth is a spirit, and he will guide us into all truths according to Yahushua in John chapter 16, verse 13. So Yahushua in John chapter 16, verse 13, he explains that truth is a spirit. He explains that truth is a spirit. So please write these scriptures down so you can read it for yourself, because I have a lot to cover, and if I read everything, we will be here forever. Also, according to John chapter 8, verses 31 through 32, Yahushua tells us more details about how to obtain the spirit of truth. He said unto the Jews, which, let's get it understood, the Jews is literally just one part of Israel, which is the tribe of Judah, or the kingdom of Judah as a whole. They were, for whatever reason, they started calling us Jews way back then. I know the reason, but I don't want to get into all of the history of it right now. But when he spoke of, in this particular passage, he was talking to the actual kingdom of Judah, because remember, the northern kingdom had already been scattered. They had already been scattered, and they were no longer a kingdom anymore. And the tribe of, or the kingdom of Judah, was the only remaining kingdom out of the two Israelite kingdoms. So Judah was who he was referring to or talking to at this time, which was also the scribes and the Pharisees, who read that whole chapter to get a better understanding. Read that chapter to get a better understanding of who he was talking to. But I need y'all to understand, when you hear of the word Jews, it is referring to a particular group within the Israelite nation, and that was the kingdom of Judah. The kingdom of Judah. So those J-ish words that we keep hearing about over there in that land that's going through all of that turmoil, they ain't us. They ain't us, and they ain't the ones mentioned in this book. They are not the same. We are not the same. We got to get that understood. Another story for another day. He said to Judah, if you remain in my word, which is Abba Yah. Abba means father. Yah is also the name of, I don't like to say also, it's the name of the Most High. If you remain in my word, which is Abba Yah's word, you will truly be my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. He's telling us that we will be able to gain the truth by remaining in his word, not going to church, not becoming a religious follower, not associating yourself with some type of religious group, some type of religious ministry, not associating yourself with some particular pastor, not falling under the guidelines of some man-made customs and rituals, but get in his word, because you will see, if you are a person who study, you will see that what the Most High says, what his word says, is completely opposite than what these people are pushing, teaching, and preaching in these pulpits. I can't stress that enough. It is completely opposite. Why is it a complete opposite? Because we are the Israelites, and we are in a land that is not ours because of our disobedience and keep choosing death. So therefore, we have part of the curses that we have attached to us is serving false gods. Part of the curses is serving false gods. So now some of you might be saying, well, if part of the curses is us serving false gods, then how do you know you're serving the right one? Because I'm studying his word. I'm studying his word, and his word is guiding me into all truths. I'm not listening to people. I'm listening to his word. The spirit of truth has entered in me and is guiding me and is showing me what is true and what is not. We are in the ending of our punishment. Our punishment ended in 2019. So therefore, the Most High is now in the stage of wakening up his people, because while we was in captivity, we was also under a sleep. We was also in a slumber, which meant that he had closed our eyes to the truth. Even if we wanted to really know the truth back then, we couldn't, because he didn't allow us, because we had to go through those 400 years of judgment. We had to go through it. We had to go through it. So now that those 400 years are up, he's opening up the eyes of those who are seeking the truth. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Going back up, he said unto the Jews, if you remain in my word, you will truly be my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Then we have to ask the question, free from what? Free from what? See, every time he says something, we got to get an understanding of what he's talking about. What are we being free from? Once we receive the truth, what are we being freed from? And the answer is deception that was sent to those who don't have the desire to know the truth, but rather seek worldly things that pleases their flesh, according to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 7 through 12. And we're going to go there. We're going to go to this one. 2 Thessalonians. Where did I write that down at? I had it written down somewhere. Was it chapter 2? Yeah. And it was verse, 7 through 12. So, let me turn this around so y'all can see it too. I should have did this earlier when I was reading the other ones. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who knoweth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And right here what it's saying, the mystery of iniquity is already working. Why? Because the seals have already been broken at this point in time. At this point in time, the seals in Revelation chapter 6 have already been broken. And so the horse riders have already entered into the world. And they're going to stay here until Yahushua comes and remove them, because he's the one who put them here. He's the one who put them here. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Yahuwah shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. So right here it tells us that those who don't have a desire to know the truth will be under a strong delusion, and that delusion is sent to us by the Most High. It's sent to us by the Most High, and that delusion is all of these false gods that we're seeking and that we're worshiping, and all of these different things that has been happening to keep us in the dark from the truth. All of these nations who had conspired together to keep us in the dark from being able to know the truth and or question things. So that is what we're being free from. That is what the truth will give you. Seeking the truth and having the truth brings about freedom from the deception. It brings us freedom from the deception that is within this world. Then here in John 14, let me get it right. Then here in John 14, verse 6, Yahushua said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto Abba Yah but by me. But by me. So you can seek the truth and reject Yahushua. Then you won't have the truth. You have people still in a delusion. You will still have people in a delusion who think that they can receive the truth and reject the one who's bringing the truth, because he's the one who holds the key to it all. See, they keep forgetting that. They refuse to believe that he truly exists and still exists, and that he is the one who is orchestrating all of this. It is he who broke the seals and sent the sword to the earth. It is he that until he comes back that the sword will continue to do what it's designed to do, which was to bring chaos, which was to remove the peace, which was to divide us, which was used to cause death in all kinds of ways. It was judgment upon us because that's what we kept choosing. That's what we kept choosing. So it is him that you are able to receive the truth, because what? He says, I am the way. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And no man cometh unto the Father but by him. None. So, like I said, you can go out here and try to receive the truth and reject him. You won't get it. You won't get it. So, you won't receive the spirit of the truth because you still refusing the truth by rejecting him. And again, if you refuse to call him by his actual name, you are rejecting him. You are still under that strong delusion that you got the right one. You're still under that strong delusion that you got the right one, and you're still serving a false god. We got to get it right. Now, the third question. Who can find the truth? Who can find the truth? According to Psalm 145, verses 18 through 19, which reads, Abba Yah is near unto all them that call upon him, to all that call upon him in truth. He will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry and will save them. So let's get an understanding here of what's being said. Abba Yah is near unto all that call upon him. If you call upon the Most High and you calling upon him in truth, like you're not just doing it because you fear for your life in the moment. You know how some people, how sometimes we might find ourselves in distress. We might find ourselves in distress, so therefore we call out to him. But we're not calling out to him in truth. We're just calling out to him in pain. Because we're in pain, we are suffering, or we are about to suffer, and we don't want to go through that. So we call out to him. That's not in truth. But a person who has come to a point where they realize that this life that we live on this earth, this ain't it. This ain't it. It got to be more. A person who calls out to him with the understanding of, it's got to be more to what is available to me. It's got to be more that is available in this world. It's got to be more of a purpose in this world than just working for a paycheck to pay bills to give it right back to the people who give us the money. It's got to be more to this system that we are in and under than what we have and than what we see. And I want to know what it is. You got to have a desire to want to know the truth. You got to have a desire to want to get it right. So those people who call out to the Most High in truth, he is near to them. And not only is he near to them, but he will fulfill the desires of them that fear him. Not scared of him in the sense of literally like you are afraid, but respect him. When you respect someone, that is a level of fear. There's a level of fear there, but not fear to the degree of like a monster, like you're afraid of a monster, that type of fear, but afraid in a respectful manner, a healthy way, knowing that he holds the power of everything, that he is the key of everything, that he's the creator of everything. Understanding who he is. You reference him as who he is, and you don't water him down. You're going to give him his just due, because why not? He deserves it. He deserves it. Who are you without him? You're nothing, right? So when you seek him in truth and you call out to him in truth and you really want to know all there is to know of him and all there is to know about this world and us and where we stand in the future that's supposed to come, then he will fulfill the desires of them that fear him, and he also hear their cry. He will hear your praise. Not your praise too, but he will hear your prayers. When you cry out to him, he will hear your prayers. He's concerned about you. He's concerned about the things that's going on in your life. If somebody hurts you and you cry, even if you're not crying in prayer, he hears that cry. That's how much he loves you and how close he is to you. He hears everything that you do, even when you're not seeking him in the moment. You know, sometimes there are moments where we're going through something and we might not instantly think to pray about it. Or we might not instantly think to go to the Most High for an answer, because we might look at the situation as something small and petty. Something that surely he's not concerned about, something this small. But if it's something that causes you to cry, something that brings you anguish, something that brings you pain, something that brings you harm, hurt, anything, he hears you. That's how close he is to those who seek him in truth. And he will save us. He will save us. He will save us. It is that simple. It's that simple. It is really that simple. But that's why it is important. It is important that we study. It is important that we seek the truth. It is important that we rightly divide scripture. We have to study so that we can rightly divide scripture, so that we can rightly piece what scriptures goes together, so we could get a greater understanding of what's being said and the instructions that we're supposed to follow to make sure we're in line with the Most High. And that's the reason why it says that narrow is the gate that leads to righteousness and broad is the gate that leads to destruction, because you're not going to have people willing to do the work. People are not willing to sit down and study and research, and not only research and study, but put forth the effort to do the job. Faith without works is dead, people. If you don't put forth the work, the faith ain't gonna work. And the work is studying his word and learning what it is we're supposed to do, and then do it. We have to carry out an action. Faith is not an action. Faith without works is dead. Now, you could choose to try to pair faith with worldly works and think that you're going to receive the reward that the Most High has for you. You're sadly mistaken. The only reward you're going to receive when you pair faith with worldly works, the things, the ways of this world, the only thing you're going to get is the reward that the world will give you, which is a nice car, a nice house. You might have money in your bank account. You might have a good career. You might have a good job. But those things are not the rewards of the Most High. His reward is stored up in heaven. His reward is stored up in heaven. And I'm not talking about that mythological place, heaven. I'm talking about the actual kingdom that will be restored soon. Just like it was an actual kingdom before, it's going to be an actual kingdom again. It's going to be an actual kingdom again. So this whole mindset that people got that in order to obtain heaven, you have to die. Death is not everybody's portion. Some people will not die and they will make it into the kingdom. Some people will not. Some people will get to be right. They will get to see the end of it all. Some people will get to witness everything that's supposed to transpire. And I'm talking about people who are already here on this earth. You have some people who are already here on this earth who will get to walk into the kingdom as not as they are now, but because of course to enter into the kingdom, we're going to receive a different body. But we are going through some transformations now to prepare those who will get to enter into the kingdom. And I must say, unfortunately, some of those who will get to enter to the kingdom will actually have to go through persecution here on earth, and they will actually die here. But once they are resurrected, they will be allowed entry into the kingdom. Either way, whether you pass away or you get to walk in, you still want to be able to gain entry into the kingdom. Because it's a literal place, people. It's not this mythological fake place up in the sky only. I hope I was able to answer those questions. I really do. I hope I was able to answer those questions. We talked about the sword. We saw where the sword was coming from. We talked about how to know the truth. You have to study his word. You have to want the truth. You have to live according to the word. And you have to learn how to rightly divide his word. And that's where the spirit of truth comes in at. That's where the spirit of truth comes in at. Because as I've said, our enemies have conspired against us. And they've taken crafty counsel amongst one another to confuse us, to remove the truth, to place in falsehoods, to give us false images, to give us a false narrative, to even give us a false Messiah. And they rename the real Messiah with a false name. They have taken crafty counsel against the Most High's people. And this has been going on for centuries. So you can imagine they've been perfecting their skill. They have been perfecting their skill for centuries. And we're just now waking up to the truth. But the one thing we got that they don't got, and that's the power of Yahuwah. We got the power of Abba Yah. We got his son, Yahusha. We got the Holy Spirit. We got the spirit of truth. We got the spirit of wisdom. We got so much firepower on our side. We got so much firepower on our side that the only way that we can lose is if we choose to lose. Keep choosing death. That's the only way we can lose. Boy. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Boy, boy, boy. Y'all have a wonderful Friday.